perimenopause, I mean, it is, I got to a point where I'm like, I honestly started Googling Alzheimer's or dementia. Like I felt like the time that really occurred to me that I'm like, something's really wrong with me. I was at the pharmacy drive-through and they hand me my stuff. And I kid you not, I felt like I short circuited. Do I roll up my window or do I press drive? It was like so bizarre. There were times where I would be talking all along, even on my own podcast. I couldn't think of the word airport. Like I had to explain it with like airplanes. And thankfully it was one of my clients. He was like, are you talking about an airport? I was like, mm-hmm. Sure. And I own it, right? I don't care. I tell them all the time, I was like, listen here, you don't know what menopause is about. Okay. Go away. And so owning that part of it as well too. If we're inching over that age of 40, like perimenopause, it can last over 10 years and it can even start in your late 30s as well too. Everybody's circumstance is different. I have one of my clients, she's in her mid 50s and she hasn't hit menopause at all. And she actually has not had any other symptoms, no hot flashes, no nothing, right? But if your body, if things are changing within you, like your brain fog, you're more fatigued, right? You're having night sweats. That's not healthy and normal. It's not. That is wrecking with the quality of sleep. So even if they identify that it's something else and maybe it's not perimenopause, right? Something that is affecting your quality of life, whether it is sleeping, whether it is your opportunity that you're smiling and you're laughing, right? So even like my sister had told me, she was like, I just felt like I was emotionless. And it was just not like her. So it's just like all of these different things that we can really tie together and just say, this isn't me. And that's a big thing, right? Write it down. Is this something that you've been dealing with your whole life? Right? If it has been, still look into it. But significantly, if it were something has changed, there's no shame in going in and getting it looked at, period. Talk about it. I was 38. So it really was exasperated actually after my mammogram. So was I 38? Yeah, I think so. 38 or 39. Exasperated by my mammogram. And I would lay in bed and you could see a complete body print. I would have to bring a towel and just lay it down so I could sleep the rest of the night. It was head to toe sweat. And then I went for several years, gosh darn it. I don't know why my like time frame. Yeah, perimenopause, my brain's off. It's so true. So then I went a period of time and I had nothing. And then all of a sudden those, they started happening again. My hot flashes had gotten so bad. And I'm somebody that's very cold all the time. And when I knew I had to say something, this is my poor child. He's just traumatized by this. He was driving. He's 15 and I had to take off my shirt. I was down to my sports bra, like hanging out the window of the car because I was just like, I needed this. It was so intense, right? And I have little micro ones here and there, but something that I think is really, really great after having even being on estrogen, and estrogen wasn't enough for me. So they put me on progesterone as well. And that's really controlling my symptoms because there are some caps, but something I learned is that all the tests that we used 50 years ago that say if you take estrogen or any sort of hormone, you're increasing your breast cancer risk. And the reality is it's crazy is I actually listened to this master class online and there was just really some of the top doctors in the nation, OBs, and they're talking about how first off, the amount of women that this happens to is insane. So you're not being gaslighted when you listen to this. But the test that they did with a high risk of breast cancer, I believe it was like women over the age of 60 had this crazy enhanced risk of it. But they didn't have a control group that was younger than that was pre-menopause as well too. And so I know, right? So they've done more studies to show that actually at our age, if we start estrogen, we're decreasing our risk for breast cancer. That's what doctors are not coming out of medical school learning now, right? Still in the textbook, it's saying that just don't take it. And I still had it too. I had like a concern for it as well too. And it wasn't until seeing that and then asking my OB specifically and being like, hey, is this true? That, yep, it is. So it just is, it's crazy to me what women specifically have to go through to advocate and our bodies and the changes. Yourself, pay attention to these things, fight for it. If they do all sorts of tests and find out it's not estrogen or anything, right? Don't stop there though. There's something different about you that you're worried about. There's nothing wrong with going and pushing for answers. I was just flat out told, I was like, hey, I feel like I have brain fog. I honestly am concerned, like I have like early onset dementia. Like, and I said it jokingly, but kind of serious. And I'm like, what about perimenopause? Is there something that I can take? And that's where it just stopped right with perimenopause is overdiagnosed. And this is where I tell you, like, yeah, this is where I say, like, don't be quiet. I was quiet in that moment because I don't think that I was expecting that level of response. And so it's crazy. And what's really kind of funny to me is, so then I'm like, I know I have an OB appointment and she's pretty cool. But I had to go and see a different OB, which, mind you, no woman wants to show off their bits to another doctor. So I'm still really glad that I went to this because they did. What are some concerns? And I'm like, concerns. I'm losing sleep because I'm in a puddle of sweat at night. My brain, I feel like I'm losing my mind because I'm forgetting words. Like I'm talking and words are just gone, right? And they're nothing that's difficult. And so going right into my OB, and she was like, yeah, let's start something. Now they started out on this patch that I used, and I had like some severe reactions to it. So it was again like push and push and push. I want to do something that's different here. I also found a couple doctors in Ada. They do concierge health, and they're sisters. It's amazing. They stepped away from the insurance system. They stepped away from the large privatized things like the Trinity and the Corewell because their care was not only dictated from the insurance company, it is dictated by the facility that you're falling underneath as well too, right? Like they want to make money similarly to them wanting to push radiation, right? Radiation makes money. It does very, very consistently. So these doctors I've sat down with, and I can't tell you enough amazing things about them. To be able to sit down and have 90 minutes and have somebody feel you're just, it's judgment free, right? And I called them even for different things because I was having problems with some of the estrogen. I was told again to, even by the nurse line, was talking to them about how I want to talk about it. I had some progress, but I feel like I'm not completely there. And that was kind of like pushed back a bit. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and talk to, it's Concierge Health of West Michigan. And sure enough, she was like, let's just try progesterone. I didn't even have to go in or anything, right? Like I was an established patient with her. It's very, very affordable. It's almost, I hate using the word membership, but it kind of is. Like there are affordable payments, but I don't have to do any of this like jumping through loopholes. It is, and they're women, right? And so just to hear them sit and listen and not rush through and, even stating things as I'm going through, everything that I'm doing for my body, my anything, right? Trying to stay trim and it was no judgment on anything. She was like, well, this is working, right? Like it's great. And not having to jump the loopholes because it's, even bringing back another loophole. Oh my God, it makes me crazy. I could keep going and going and going. It just is, I can't emphasize enough that women out there, women or anybody with our same, I want to be inclusive. Okay. If you have some of our own body organs that we have going on right now, and there's something that is not true to you, right? Talk about it. Don't be embarrassed. Go to somebody that will listen. We go through a tremendous amount, and even adding on to it, if we have anybody that are trans out there, they have it 10 times worse because it's immediately biased to just stop that conversation and just know there are people out there. you please know that you have the support through this here that will tell you you're not crazy. They're not going to judge you because of who you truly are, not what physically presents on the outside. We have to make sure that we continue to support, and especially that our trans community that is likely being the most gaslighted of anybody else.